holiday has started. The trip up the Intercoastal Waterway. We're heading at least to the Chesapeake. We're down here now in some new water that we've never been to before, and we should get to Vero Beach today.
We had been on the ICW since we left the Keys about a month prior, but we were now committed to get at least to the Chesapeake for hurricane season and ready to start heading that direction. Our first stop was Vero Beach as we began to fall into the rhythm of making short stops and then continuing on north. Vero Beach has a very nice mooring field. One interesting thing there is that they sometimes have multiple boats raft up at the same mooring.
All right.
There we are.
Good job, Lindy.
Somebody was cheering for me. I couldn't hear.
We only spent one night at Vero, but we did go to the beach on a clear evening to watch a rocket launch from Cape Canaveral. It was a beautiful morning as we prepared to drop our lines from the mooring and continue north up the ICW. We had some nice wind for motor sailing as we made our way towards Titusville. This would be a long passage, so we just sat back and watched the scenery go by.
So we've sailed by Melbourne today, we've sailed by Cocoa, and here now we're going by Cape Canaveral, and we're planning to make it all the way to Titusville. It's going to end up being an 11-hour day. We're going to have went 60 nautical miles, so that's a pretty long day for me and Lindy. We usually only do about half that. So we're here at the Titusville mooring field, so we're going to grab a mooring for the night.
It had been a long day, so we didn't even go to shore in Titusville. We just rested up and prepared for an early departure, heading north again the next morning.
Good job, Lindy. And I think we're going to try to get a little bit of an earlier start today and head towards Daytona Beach. So this is Mosquito Lagoon here north of Cape Canaveral. We've seen more manatees swimming by. We've seen dolphins. There's birds everywhere. And we've seen sea turtles. And we just saw a bald eagle flying around over here. Really full of wildlife.
Mosquito Lagoon was one of the prettiest places we'd been through in this area. As we exited the other side, we continued to see cool sights.
This guy takes grilling to the next level. A full-size gas grill on about a 28-foot sailboat.
Later that day, as we neared Daytona Beach and the Halifax River, a storm blew in from the north. With winds coming directly down the river, opposing the current, it created quite the chop. It was a bit of a rough ride, and we were glad to finally make it to our anchorage.
We anchored in over 20 knots of wind. It wasn't bad. Anchor set good.
We didn't get off the boat on our night at Daytona Beach due to the weather, but it had improved in the morning and we did some motor sailing as we headed towards St. Augustine. We saw some cool sailboat tour ships as we neared St. Augustine on the Matanzas River. St. Augustine would be our first extended stop on our trip up the ICW.
Well-known Bridge of Lions in St. Augustine.
We headed under the bridge and prepared to grab a mooring in this high current area.
You too, thank you. All right, got to swing around here and get that mooring ball right here at the fort. This is awesome. Here we go. Look at her go. She's a mooring ball master. Wow. I've been to St. Augustine many times. And I've looked out here and seen these sailboats. I always thought, well, one day I'll be one of them. Here we are.
We had a fun time visiting one of our favorite Florida cities and even spent a couple of nights off the boat at my parents' house. But it was time to move on, so we pointed the boat north towards the St. Johns River in the Jacksonville area.
Okay, we've made it to the intersection of the ICW and the St. Johns River. We're on the St. Johns now.
So we're anchored here off the St. Johns River, right outside of Jacksonville, and it's a pretty nice little anchorage here. Zach's doing a little diesel maintenance.
That little work I did on the diesel last night, I've got a little diesel leak, and I was trying to tighten some fittings and I made it worse. So hopefully we don't have any problems, but we'll keep the anchor ready in case the engine just shuts off all of a sudden. Hopefully that doesn't happen.
We've got this guy. Back here, we've got that guy. Our job is to just stay out of their way.
It was cool to watch the tugboat push against the ship and help it go around the sharp corner. Next, the even larger ship headed north went right by us in the St. Johns River. It was pretty intimidating to have such a large ship traveling so close to Holiday. But we made it and headed on to Fernandina Beach.
Okay, we're tied up here to the mooring at Fernandina Beach. Looks like a pretty cool city. The diesel's still leaking, but it didn't shut off all day. Tonight we're grilling some pork chops, and it's just a beautiful sunset. And the full moon just rose over Fernandina Beach. And we're about to take a short 7-mile trip from Fernandina Beach to Cumberland Island. We're gonna pass the line to where we're from, Georgia. And we'll be in Georgia for like the next month, so that's exciting.
So we have Fort Clinch here at the north tip of Amelia Island. There's the Atlantic Ocean. This is the St. Mary's River, Cumberland Island, and we're passing from Florida into Georgia.
Anchored at Cumberland Island. I have been looking forward to exploring this area. All right, time for a shore excursion. We got a bag packed with some snacks, books, hammocks. It's time to check it out.
Cumberland Island is a stunningly beautiful place that can only be accessed by boat. There are never many people around on this large barrier island, and the only sights and sounds around are nature.
We've got some horse sightings. Some of the wild horses on Cumberland Island.
There are wild horses all over Cumberland Island, especially around the ruins of the Carnegie family's summer home Dungeness from the 1800s. It's really neat to see the oak forest area quickly transform into the dunes area of the beach. Those look like scrub bushes up ahead on the dunes in the distance? Think again. These are the tops of giant twisty oak trees as the ground slopes downward from the dunes to the forest floor.
I probably climbed up this exact tree when I was a kid. Wow. We found some suitable looking hammock trees. How's it going back there, Lindy?
Good. I'm going to pick up this shirt. This side.
It was an awesome day on Cumberland Island. Hope you enjoyed the sounds and sights as much as we did.
It's day 2 here at Cumberland Island. We're gonna go back to the island again. Oh, look at this. The ferries arrived just at the same time we did. Always interesting to see the people and who might walk off of it. Oh, who's this?
Hey, Zach, Lindy.
Wait, I recognize these guys.
Our greeters at Cumberland Island.
Mom and Dad took the ferry over for a visit with Holiday. We rented bikes and headed to tour Dungeness and see some wild horses. We also spotted some of the other cool wildlife Cumberland has to offer. Later, we headed out to Holiday for lunch, where I had Bahamian peas and rice slow cooking in the Wonder Bag. After the yummy meal, the ladies rested on Holiday while me and Dad headed back to Cumberland Island for some hiking and tree climbing.
That's my son, Zach.
We had one last wildlife sighting before heading back out to Holiday.
There's a deer just walked right in front of us. Huh. How cool was that? I thought it was a dog at first. And then just sit down right here. Good job.
It was an awesome visit with Mom and Dad, and we had an awesome time at Cumberland Island.